Today we are making red velvet whoopie pies with cream cheese filling. Okay, so you want to start by sifting 2 1/4 cups all-purpose white flour and 1/4 cup of baking cocoa. And to that you're going to add 2 teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda. And I'm going to whisk this together. And then in a separate bowl, well, first of all, you want to start by preheating your oven to 375. And you also want to line some baking sheets with parchment paper. And now here I have 3/4 cups of butter with 1 cup of white granulated sugar. And I'm going to beat this with a hand mixer, but you can use a stand mixer if you prefer. So you're going to beat this until it's light and fluffy, and then I'll show you the next step. So I've creamed my butter and sugar. You want your butter to be room temperature, and it's unsalted butter. And now I'm going to add 1/2 cup of sour cream and 2 eggs. And to that I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of red food coloring, 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract, and 1 1/2 teaspoons of white vinegar. Now I'm going to blend that, and then I'm going to add my flour mixture, and I'll show you the next step. So I've mixed all of the wet ingredients together, and I'm going to add that flour and cocoa and baking powder and baking soda and salt mixture. I'm going to slowly incorporate it into there, and then I have here 2 ounces of semi-sweet chocolate that I melted, and I'm going to add that to there as well. So you want to lay them out on your parchment-lined cookie sheet, and I like to use one of these ice cream scoops that has the release on it, but if you don't have one, you can certainly just use a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons and help push the dough out of one onto this parchment paper. And you're going to bake it at 375 for about 8 to 10 minutes, and then I'll show you the next step. I forgot to mention that you're supposed to leave about 2 inches of space in between them. I probably left less. I always crowd my cookies and such, but I'm praying that they don't stick together. I don't think they'll spread that much. Okay, so these are our whoopie pie, I guess, cookie parts. I got lucky. They didn't stick together. And now for the cream, I'm going to mix 8 ounces of cream cheese that's softened at room temperature. That's just 1 package. And 1 stick of butter, that's 1/2 cup of unsalted softened butter. And 2 1/2 cups of powdered sugar. Now, I'm going to use 1 packet of this Italian vanillina because I don't want to change the color of my cream, because if I were to add vanilla extract, it would just make it a little bit sort of brownish. Not really brown, but it would change it to be less white. But if you don't mind, you can use regular vanilla extract, or you can use an artificial vanilla that's colorless. It's up to you what you use. So I'm going to whip this together, and then I'm going to let these cool, and then I'll show you the next step. So I like to cool them on a rack, and now that they've completely cooled, I'm going to put the cream in the middle. And I'm going to use a butter knife, but you can use a spatula if you prefer. I think I might need to make another batch of this cream, but I'm not sure if it'll be enough. So you just spread it in the middle. And then you take another one of the cookies and you make a sandwich. And there's your whoopie pie. And we're going to decorate it next. I just want to show you that the whoopie pie, I mean, my lighting isn't that great and I apologize for that, but they don't look that red as red velvet should. They are redder than they appear on the camera, but it's probably because I use this cocoa that I've never used before for making this recipe. It's the 100% cocoa special dark, and it looked darker to me when I was putting it in the recipe, so I think it made it darker than it should be. So if you use regular cocoa, they should look more red, so don't worry about it. Now for the white chocolate drizzle, I just took a white bar of chocolate. It's 4.4 ounces, and I melted it in a little pan. No double boiler, just like that, with 1 tablespoon of vegetable shortening. Just drizzle your chocolate over the top. And then you let it set and you're good to go. Here they are, our red velvet whoopie pies with cream cheese frosting. I hope you enjoy. Happy Valentine's Day.